All right, boys, let's do this thing. It's Travis from Losing Sucks. I am here, drunk on broad. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Eagles. They should roll easily over the Bears. Let's get into what we saw week 15 or week 14 and what we expect to see week 15. Trevor Lawrence has arrived, the QB1 on the week. Big test this week versus Dallas, but he has earned our confidence. I'm good starting him against almost anybody right now, especially when all his weapons are healthy. Jerick McKinnon gives you running back one on the week, over 30 points. He now gets the Texans. I understand that he's splitting with Pacheco. I like both of them. Houston is not good, as we all know. I think they both get plenty in this game. Some disappointments from Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, Higgins, Barkley, Swift, Andrews. The list goes on and on. Some of your stars, some of your highest draft picks did not show up for you, but it happens sometimes, and you kind of just have to survive and hope that they bounce back this week. I think a lot of those names will. We mentioned Greg Dulcich last week. He did not come through with a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy got all three, but he did have another 8-target week, which is all you can ask for from a tight end. If Courtland Sutton misses again, and I expect him to, he did not practice again, being that today is Wednesday, I think Dulcich should be in your lineup again, especially on tight end needy teams. Finally, from week 14, we mentioned the Chiefs. The last 2 weeks, we've said pick up the Chiefs for the fantasy playoffs. They gave you one a week early versus Denver. They were the number 2 defense on the week with 15 points. Now they get Houston, and then they get Denver again. So it is on for the Chiefs. Keep them in your lineup. All right, on to week 15. The Saints come back off of a bye week and get Atlanta, who is a mess right now. Fire up Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara. I expect huge bounce back weeks for both of those guys. I think we see vintage Alvin Kamara fresh off the bye. I am nervous for the Detroit Lions weapons this weekend against the Jets in New York. The Jets defense is for real. They play very hard. They are very scrappy. I think I'm tempering expectations for Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Swift, Jamal Williams. Everybody gets a big tick down compared to usual for me. Kyler Murray tears his ACL. Everybody saw that in prime time. I'm nervous for everybody on that offense this week except DeAndre Hopkins. Find other options if you can outside of Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore. You may not be able to find a better option on your team for James Conner, but if you have somebody equal who you're going in between the two, probably staying away from Conner if I can. Seattle gets San Francisco. We talked about this on our show last night. We are avoiding Geno Smith and probably Kenneth Walker if you can too. First game back, he is practicing. They expect him to play. He is a stud. But San Francisco gives up by far the fewest points to running backs in the NFL. They are in a rhythm. You just don't score on them. Seattle put up 7 points on them earlier in the year. This isn't just bench no matter what, but again, you can message us on Twitter or tag us in something and ask this guy or Kenneth Walker. Those are the type of questions you're going to have to face. Most of the time, anybody near him, we're going to lean the other way this week. My gut says Buffalo obliterates Miami. Banged up Tyreek Hill and a very fired up Josh Allen. I don't know if you saw the press conference. Somebody said this is not a Super Bowl type offense, and he said okay, and kind of smirked at him like, I guess we'll have to turn it on. And they're going to get some revenge from earlier in the year. Look out, Miami. Quarterback streamers I like over Geno, who we just mentioned. Aaron Rodgers coming off the bye. Ryan Tannehill. Maybe even Daniel Jones. Jones has been pretty consistent. He's had one down week really all year. I think Daniel Jones will give you 16 to 20 points. Washington, he just gave you, I think, 18 points against Washington a couple weeks ago. So I'm good with Daniel Jones. I like Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones this week for Cleveland. Baltimore is giving up 30 points per game to opposing wide receivers on the year. So I know it's been a little frustrating for the Browns going through the bringing back of Deshaun Watson, but I think against Baltimore, both of these wide receivers can have pretty decent days. Streamers and fill-ins right now, keep an eye on Damian Harris. If he is out, Pierre Strong is a nice flex. Ramondre Stevenson will probably not play. So I think Pierre Strong without Harris is a nice play. Rex Burkhead in very deep leagues. With Damian Pierce out, you could do worse than Rex Burkhead as a flex. He does catch passes. They should be coming from behind. I expect a double-digit day out of Rex Burkhead. Chris Moore in the same game, I think he's a sleeper too. If Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins are out again, Chris Moore, they don't have other options to give the ball to. He's going to get 8 to 10 targets, 6 to 7 catches. He may not find the end zone. Who knows? That's kind of a toss-up every week. But Chris Moore is seeing enough work to be a wide receiver 3 or a flex for you. Couple of defensive streamers this week. Packers coming off the bye versus the Rams. I know Baker Mayfield made some noise in the final drive against the Raiders, but I think the Packers will be honed in and very sharp in this one. Vikings at home versus the Colts. We know Matt Ryan has no problem turning the ball over. I don't know if you can just stream any defense against them, but the Vikings are a good team. They're at home. I think the Colts will give them 1 or 2 turnovers. All it takes is one play. That's it for us for Week 15. If you have questions, reach out to us on Twitter. We will respond as soon as possible, usually within an hour. Good luck, Birds. Keep it rolling. I think they obliterate Chicago. Yeah, that's it. As we always say, losing sucks. Don't do it.